Hey there, it's Michelle Spiva, and I am coming to you today with day number 27 of my Leader of One preparatory month. And today I am talking about inventive maneuvering. Yes, inventive maneuvers. I don't know if it is art imitating life or life imitating art or what is going on. I am endeavoring to finish up some big writing projects that I've been on, and part of the plot for two of them at least, is my characters have to be very clever to figure out how to get some things done. And I'm gonna tell you what, and again, you guys, let me just do this. I apologize for my allergies and stuff, but hey, I gotta keep it going. So anyway, my characters, they gotta figure out these things, and I've been taking the time to try to, work it out and all this kind of stuff, because I never counted myself as clever, cunning, or any of that. And lo and behold, I am on the home stretch, and I'm gonna tell you, since I got back from the Christmas break to finish this last week up, and notice, finish. This is supposed to be where I am finishing things. Everything that could happen has been happening, and I am saying that prayerfully that nothing else happens. But it's like, okay, all right, I gotta do this. And so I was wondering, I was like, have I been studying, subtle scheming and all this kind of stuff? Because my character didn't need it, I needed it. And I mean, like I said, not any kind of criminal stuff. It's just being able to think differently. And so what I am saying is, for me right now, to be able to continue to do what I'm doing, trying to finish up these books, trying to stay focused on deliberate practice and all this stuff I've been working on this month, I'll be doggone if in the 11th hour here comes stuff to try to knock me off track, try to get me, to sideline or whatever. I'm gonna tell you, I'm running a little late today, doing my daily video for you guys, accountability for me, y'all to either laugh or whatever you're doing, because of some of this clever inventive maneuvering. And man, shout out to my friends. One of the big takeaways today that I am learning is, and you would think that I kind of like already know this, I guess, so I'm refreshing, updating that, is that even in my planning, even in my, I'm old, self-lead and all this kind of stuff, you got to have a team, baby. You got to have a team. I want to give a shout out to my sisters. Sorry, guys. My sisters. I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Dr. Cindy, Michael, Lori, and all these other folks that have been, cheering me on, saying a prayer here and there, coming to my rescue, and all this kind of stuff. And I also want to say that for where we are in this game, y'all, 3 days away from having completed a 30-day straight deep dive into wrecking some stuff up that does not, that won't hold us back going forward. Whoo, resistance, whatever you want to call it. Some people want to call it a straight up devil. Whatever you want to call it, came with its A game this week. But you know what? Everything you done to me. I'm just playing. Okay, my people from Color Purple will get that reference, the movie. But I digress. Inventive maneuverings. What I'm learning is, and I should have brought my notes in here because I want to make sure that I get this right. What I'm learning, and I'm probably sure this is just the very, very, very beginning of this, is that not only do I need to use different perspectives and perceptions of things, I need to, and I wrote them down, I need to be able to recognize Trojan horses of distraction. And when I say distraction, I mean Trojan horses. I'm not talking about distractions like, watching TV when you know you should be working and all this kind of stuff. No, I'm talking about those Trojan horses of distractions where you thinking you're going to put out just a little bitty fire, but that thing is keeping you distracted because something bigger that could cause some bigger issues is in the background just, playing havoc with my life, with your life, whatever. And I know if it's happening to me, I'm not alone. And so with my understanding how to get more inventive, there is this set of books. And if you have kids, even if you are so inclined, there's these books, the character is Artemis Fowl. Read them years ago when I was previewing books to recommend to my nieces and nephews for summer reading. And I fell in love with these books. Now, I will say, the books start off with the main protagonist. The main character is a 12-year-old boy, and he's a criminal mastermind. But the way the author, Ian Cohen, love his writing, the way he presented the character, he presented him as an anti-hero, and the way the character interacted with his circumstances was not reactionary. It was, even though stuff was happening to him and he was having to react, he was very, very much on the offense, and he was very much, like in a mental warrior kind of space. And so I started thinking about Artemis Fowl last night to today. And who would think a fictional 12-year-old little boy, criminal mastermind, would help me to remember that sometimes you have to be limber, agile, and you have got to employ ways of doing stuff to make sure that you're still doing what you need to do. One of the takeaways is reach out to your network. Let your network know what's going on with you. If it's just say a prayer for me today, or if it's let me chat with you for 5 minutes, not about any work related or anything like that, just let me chat with you. Or if it is can you pick up this, I don't have time, or can you do that, or whatever it is, make sure that you get really inventive in how you go about this, because even though you're doing this to be a self-leader, the tentacles of opposition that come to try to keep us from achieving this, ooh, they're so slick. Oh my gosh. And sometimes you cannot do it by yourself. You just can't. And so because of that, I wanted to get on here today after I was doing a lot of my very limber inventive measures, and to let you guys know that sometimes you have got to get to the point where you're willing to have plans A, B, C through Z, and then A1, A2, B2, B, C, whatever, to make sure that you don't give up and it works. So let me give you an example of some of the stuff I'm talking about. So with regards to, especially when you're in the home stretch, something pressing comes up, like yesterday. I'm still, y'all, I ask y'all, say a prayer, because I am still working with my internet and digital phone service provider. And have you ever tried to tell somebody something is not right, and they keep telling you everything is fine, and they don't care? And that's how I feel. And so I've been having to work with them, just even keeping a good connection when I'm paying for it to do these live. It's frustrating, especially when I'm working with a conglomerate. And so I got real inventive with them yesterday. And like I said, I looked outside of me. And can y'all say FCC? Can you say call headquarters compliance agents department? All of a sudden, stuff starts starts happening. And now, all of a sudden, people are starting to check it out. And guess what? They're finding out I'm not lying. You are messing with my signals and everybody in my cul-de-sac. I don't know outside of my cul-de-sac. But, just simple little things like that of getting inventive. Instead of just saying, okay, and keep calling back. I was like, I don't have time for that. The more time I'm sitting here on the phone with you is the more, taken away from the time of me trying to get this project done, because I got more to move on from here. Another inventive measure. for me, I usually try to write a certain way. And these books, because I realize as I'm getting into it and I'm really tapping into the creative process and flow, I'm writing them a little differently. And I'm a very auditory person, so I have to listen to it to make sure that the pacing is right, the dialogue is right, making sure that the characters sound very real. And then putting in all of this, and I'm not going to say scheming, it's not scheming, but putting in all of this inventive stuff that a few of these characters have to do, it has been slogging down the process. Not slogging it down, I'm just going through the frustration of learning a new skill and a new way to write. And what I realized was I'm learning new foundational truths to how I approach my craft. And so with that, what I have been doing is, and I only started that this like 2 days ago. So what I've been doing is instead of just diving in, I've been, are y'all ready? I've been just doing some exploratory personal blogging just to let my mind flow and see. And guess what? It is working because it's getting all of the angst and anxiety out of before, when I sit down to write before. Getting that 200 to 500 word free flow out first kind of like smooths out my ability to start interacting with those scenes. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm really excited about this. I mean, I'm excited for my readers to read these new projects I have coming out. I'm going to be releasing a lot of them all at the same time, so that they can get the full immersion experience of these worlds I'm creating. I'm really excited about it, but it is taking forever. So that's part of the inventive. And then seeing it cross over into my real world life. I mean, crazy stuff that does not normally happen is happening in it. And I feel like, okay, the Incredibles, the Disney family and the Incredibles and the Rubber Woman, that's how I kind of been feeling today, having to dodge this obstacle. Oh, I see you, do my Matrix kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. And so being very, like I said, limber in my movements, in my ability to process, and in the idea that even though I'm a solopreneur, even though this is a solo project, I still have a team. I still have support, and I still can benefit and value from others' input, others' help, and others' wise, counsel and just support. I digress here, but I was just so blessed. Yesterday was really hard. I talked about my grandmother and everything. And my oldest sister, shout out to her. She's not on social media, but I just really kind of want to just give her a shout out. Love you, Mona. She came over and she did something for me that it just touched my heart. She's really good at it. I mean, she really has a gift for it. And she did it for me and brought it to me. And I was all mushy. I was trying hard not to cry. And her daughter, my niece, who kind of looks like she should be my child because she looks just like me. She's beautiful. She was there too. And she was, it was just so awesome. And it was cold outside and they drove all the way over to, come bring this to me. And it just touched my heart. And I think it was kind of like part of the fuel I needed for today's foolery. And so, inventive measures. I don't know yet how to tell you any kind of step by step, but what I am going to say is I talked about Trojan horses. Look at patterns. I had another one of my friends, thank you, Dr. Cindy. She showed me like a pattern that's not mine, but a pattern of what, happens with some of these corporations during different seasons and how to be ready for them next time. And, I had never even thought about that, but just by talking it through, she helped me with that and some other things. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then looking at patterns, Trojan horses, layers, multiple meanings of things. So when I was looking at a contract that I was about to get into, I had to say, oh, because the top layer made it look like one thing. But as you progress in working with this, whatever, I don't even want to say it, it got different. And I had more skin in the game and more to lose than they did. And normally I wouldn't have like tried to read all of the fine points, but I went with my gut. Yesterday I was supposed to talk about, trusting my intuition, going with my gut. And I went with that, and I'm so glad I did, because if I had entered into that, ooh, that would not have been well. So they're kind of like, to me, they're traps, and then there are traps. And it's up to me, first and foremost, because I'm leading myself, to do everything I can to try to see them. But it's also up to me to benefit from the wisdom of my crowd, the wisdom of my tribe. So as I end this today with the quote unquote inventive measures, I want to challenge you to look at having more than 3 ways to accomplish what you're trying to get. I want you to go back and reevaluate all the stuff that you're doing. Make sure that they're not Trojan horses that are getting your attention, that's keeping you from seeing the bigger issue, the bigger enemy behind you. I want you to also look for layers and patterns of things that will come to try to knock you off your game of what you're trying to do. Me as an author, I know that for me, I really need to be hitting some benchmarks between January and February because of the seasonal opportunities that happen in those months. And so that's why I've been doing this. But I also have to make sure that I am looking at some bigger issues economically that are happening globally as well as stateside, and things that if I don't, they could mess up my plans. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the layerings, the distractions, the Trojan horses, and all of those different little things. And then make sure that you tap into the resources of your team, your tribe, or whatever. It matters, especially when you're almost at the finishing line of a project, when you can taste it, see it, smell it, of what you want to happen. Don't just trust in your own logic and wisdom. Reach out. There is a reason why kings, queens, and people of power keep close advisors, because everything in your life and your thoughts and my life, my thoughts might sound like it's the right thing to do, but it is that other person that's going to help you. And thinking about that, I was talking to one of my, like I said, I have sisters, and I have some brothers too, but I was talking to one of my other sisters last night, and she was just helping me with some strategy kind of stuff. She's really brilliant, business-minded person, and just continuing to really help me with some things that she's got going on and will be moving into. And I was learning so much from her. And I just want to always remind you to trust your gut. Trust. If something just doesn't feel right, but you don't know what it is, see it through. That's what had me reading every little part of this possible contract I was about to get into. There is a reason why we get the feelings, the emotions, and the things that we do, especially if you are the main breadwinner or you're the sole provider for you, your family. If you are the reason why the company makes money and you've got people depending on you, you got to slow down and take that time and use these inventive maneuverings to not only help you, but help others. And that's what I wanted to say about that today. This was day number 27. We got 3 more days, 28, 29, 30. And I'm going to tell y'all, I pray, because I almost feel like a big explosion is like going to try to come and throw me off. But it's all good. It's cold. Y'all see I am. If I could, I'd be sitting up here like this, like, okay. But it's all good. And I will talk with y'all, guess when? Tomorrow. Thank you so much. This has been Michelle for Leader of One. Links in the description if you want more information, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.